I'm here today because I think that the people whose job it is to make our future better and to take care of us aren't doing their jobs. I think the government is responsible for making sure that we have a safe future, and they're not doing what needs to be done to ensure that. We know from all the science, the science is conclusive. We know that climate change is human caused and that we're headed towards irreversible collapse. And I'm ashamed that we're 31 out of 31 for OECD countries on climate action. It's really it makes me feel ashamed to be Australian that our government is so bad on this. So I'm here fighting and hoping that they will see that we care about this and how much we care about this and start to take the action that we need to see.
I'm here because I don't want future generations to inherit an Earth that is full of climate disaster. I want them to have access to jobs that are good and fulfilling. And yeah, I don't know, I'm scared and I don't want other people to be scared too. So that's why I'm here.
Climate change and climate collapse is really daunting, especially not just for me, but the next generation and the generation after that. I want to be able to look my kids and grandkids in the eye and tell them that I did everything I could to give them a better world rather than give them a world that's garbage and that they have to fix our mistakes.
How would you feel if we won a climate jobs guarantee and your kids get to grow up under a climate jobs guarantee?
That would be amazing. That would be a huge relief and a positive prospect for the future rather than going towards something that is a bit doom and gloom. It's like heading towards death. The idea of having bushfires every year and extreme weather and torrential rain and hurricanes, the weather's only going to get more extreme, and desertification and food prices, everyone gets affected.
I'm here today because climate change is threatening to derail humanity's existence and make it much more difficult for all of us to survive on this planet. I think we can do something about it, and I think we should do something about it, and I think we're morally obliged to do something about it, especially living in this beautiful country, Australia, where we're at the forefront of the climate crisis. Temperatures are rising faster here than in the rest of the world. We've already seen bushfires and floods that have been induced by the climate crisis. And what's more, we're in one of the best positions in the world to take advantage of the ride the green wave that's going to go across the world and make the best of it, but we're not doing that. And so I'm here to demand that our government implements a climate jobs guarantee and takes real climate action as soon as possible.
Hi, I'm Lucci Nicholson and I'm here fighting for a climate jobs guarantee because, like so many young Australians, over the past year and a half I've struggled greatly with job insecurity. I've had 4 different casual jobs. Each time I've lost my job because of lockdowns and because of lack of government support. I've been in tears every time afterwards because I know what a rough place the job market is at the moment with no support from the government. At the same time, I've been walking down Burke Street, not being able to see the block in front of me because it's so choked by smoke, not being able to breathe, not being able to see 2 blocks in front of me, having to stay in Melbourne, being terrified for family and friends who are affected by the massive bushfires. Both of these problems have one solution, and it's called the Climate Jobs Guarantee. The government must act on climate change, and we need drastic and imaginative economic reform, and that's why I'm here today fighting for the Climate Jobs Guarantee, which will guarantee a job to everyone that needs one. I want to live in a world where I don't have to give up my days fighting for something that politicians should be doing as their job, and that's why I'm here today.
So I'm here today fighting for a climate jobs guarantee because it's been the same corporate interests that have been driving jobs policy and climate policy for too long. I think we need to recognise that employment, climate interests are so interconnected, and that's why I'm here fighting for a targeted solution that recognises both and isn't some empty commitment to a target with absolutely no roadmap to actually get there. I've never known a time when there hasn't been policy gambling with my future. before I was even old enough to vote, and I don't want that for the next generation, so that's why I'm here.
Like, as long as I can remember, climate change has been a topic of real interest to me and my generation and my friends. I think I've never lived in a world that hasn't felt the pressure of climate change as this imminent, very foreboding presence, and I think that's not the case for everyone that I know, and especially older generations. But I feel it in my friendship groups, and I feel it at my university, and I felt it at my high school, and I felt it at my primary school, and I still feel it now, and I think the pressure is only growing, and I think it's important that we stop it sooner rather than later.
What would it look like if we lived in a world free from that fear of climate change?
I think that people would come together more. There wouldn't be this intense divisiveness in so many arguments. I think when people have the chance to explore creative passions, and when people feel like they have a job guarantee and like they're not working, you know, to stay alive, they're working for passion and to love, then the economy is going to grow, people are going to flourish, the arts are going to flourish, the music's going to flourish, and it'll be a happier, brighter world.
I love it.
So I'm here because, you know, the earth is fucked. We're not doing well in terms of the climate, and I believe that, you know, we need to do work on that. And I think that climate justice, in that sense, like, can't be separated from like economic justice. And I think this is a great opportunity for us to like get people in work that's working for the community and not for big corporations, and really like take this opportunity to, you know, like make a change.
I'm here today because I have pretty much no confidence in the global leaders who are going to be meeting at COP to actually commit to what we're doing, what needs to be done in order to address the climate crisis. And I especially have very little faith in the Australian leaders who are going to be representing us there. I think the federal government like starting to make some moves toward committing to net zero, which is net zero by 2050, which is obviously the bare minimum. But I have very little faith that they will actually act in a way that means that we can get there. I think they're probably hedging their bets on, you know, carbon capture technology miraculously becoming like a really effective way of doing shit, rather than actually just like following where every other country in the world is going and committing to investing in renewable energy, and in the process like creating a shitload of really good, well-paying and secure jobs for people who have been affected by coronavirus, like the economic fallout with that, and even just people who have been down on their luck in general in regional areas and parts of Victoria that are really disadvantaged as well. Yeah, that's pretty much why I'm here.
Jazz, I'm here today fighting for a climate jobs guarantee because I think that it is so important right now that we show solidarity with our fellow young people, because we've all experienced a world where climate change affects our future, our jobs, our livelihood, the way we can enjoy ourselves and have fun. And especially right now is the time to act. So I think it's super important that we send a strong message, and that we know that this climate future that we have envisioned is not only achievable, but it's so close if the government only takes a few small measures. So yes, that's why I'm here.
I'm keen for a climate jobs guarantee because I think the economy should work for us, for people and the planet, and not for the profits of just a wealthy few. We need a future for our generation. We can't keep up with the inaction. We can't keep up with the level of consumption and emissions. Yeah. We need action now. We need a climate jobs guarantee, and we need Scott Morrison to start taking action.
I'm an environment and sustainability professional, and I care deeply about climate change. And while I was searching for jobs, and with the whole, I realized that there are not many jobs available in the Australian market. And I know that there's so much work that needs to be done, and that is to be done right now. And there are many avenues where government can intervene with collaboration of private sector and create a lot of jobs for the young generation of Australia who also wants to do some meaningful job, including myself. So I believe that this cause is something that will solve both the crisis of unemployment and the climate change.
So as a pre-service teacher, I just don't think I can stand in front of a classroom full of kids knowing how uncertain their future is, both in terms of unemployment and the climate crisis, both of which are getting worse each day. I feel I have a responsibility to secure the future for these kids.